once it sends, you see this like synapse in your hand, and there, as it snaps, you feel something moving up your leg.
Like outside of my pants, inside of my pants.
Internal. In your pants. In your pants.
Oh, in my pants.
In your pants.
Yeah. Well, given that I haven't done anything but cast a spell, I'm going to use my move actions to kind of roll over and see if I can take a look and figure out what this is.
Okay, you roll over, and what do you do with your leg? Do you just stand up? Do you what are you trying to do?
No. Like I was laying on the rooftop.
Yeah.
So I was prone. So I'm rolling up and kind of like lifting my leg.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so in accordance to the spell, the way that this works, you are attacked. It succeeds.
Hmm?
A rat crawls from your lower pant leg up your back, just over your shoulder, biting you in the left ear. It runs off, leaving you with an infected wound, and it takes a part of your ear. You receive 1 point of damage. Give me a fortitude save.
29.
Very good. You manage to resist the sickness.
What, was it trying to give me the plague?
Could have been. You were unaware as to what would have happened if you would have failed. But you summoned a rat to scale up your pants, then up your mid-back, over your shoulder, and it nipped at your ear. It actually took a part of your ear away, so you probably have a small chunk missing from your ear.
Oh, I used to think this was a clean establishment.
That was Karami and Mokari's. Out of the way for the month. Klaus! The men stand in the doorway.
Can they see me?
Hell yeah, they can probably at least see one of 8 of you.
Yeah, it's a fog rolling along the floor, bleeding down.
You ever seen like really murky water and you see like the head of an alligator, but it's just kind of like burbling? Yeah, that's sort of what's happening, but it's your little heads through the fog.
And I'm just picturing these 8 heads just swiveling right aside.
They all turn at the same time.
All of them make the same fucking noise.
Fuck. This is, I've really backed myself into a corner here, haven't I?
Yeah! Just a little bit.
I'm gonna cast tongues.
Oh my god.
And I'm gonna start speaking in demonic at these guards.
That's horrifying. The guards turn and they immediately run. That's just it. There's not going to be anything else to it. They sprint.
And poor Jakob is out there on the scene like,
They have nothing to gain.
His mother's a saint.
They have nothing to gain from the situation. They are afraid for their lives. They fucking run. They're gone. They just sprint. Combat ends. I'm not gonna run anymore. That's you're just gonna have to explain to the bar owners why this is happening.
The church is closing me down. I don't know why. Sorry, Griffin.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, and when we return, we will talk more about what's happened. You guys can actually have the floor to discuss. I'm gonna let them leave with their things. At this point, I'm assuming that once they leave, Klaus's spell will fall. He'll turn back into Klaus himself in his Cerbar Spellmason form, and we're gonna move over to Ulhime and Sunn, or in this case, Red's new character. So, behave yourselves. I'll be right back. In the meantime, go ahead and talk with them. See you guys in a minute.
So let's get it out of the way. Anyone have any questions? Anyone want to know how to draw Will's character by memory? Don't worry, it'll be etched into your mind for all eternity. God damn, if there was ever a moment for us to have, like, the equivalent of, like, a Game Grumps animated, but for this, God, that would be terrifying.
Well, Christy, this is one for the clip collection.
I just want that whole from the Jolene bit right up until the guards fucking run.
No, they gotta be two separate they gotta be two separate clips.
No, I'm talking for the animation idea. Fuck, I wish I could animate. That sounds so good.
So no, Klaus. Will, are we still feeling good about the whole, oh no, I'm not gonna leap out the window?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. This might be the first time in Shackled City history that we've actually ended an encounter where we had to roll initiative without killing anyone, without having to fight. I never cast any combat spells. This is an accomplishment. This is going out of my book.
I was gonna say there was one fight where we didn't, and that would have been the fight with the dwarf mercenary dude. But I was remembering we killed both of his friends and left him alive.
Yep.
So this might actually be the only fight.
I'm worried that this is going to be one of those times where Klaus is going to be, hey, I may have found a way to avoid conflict. I've created this legend. And he's going to try and learn the spell so that whenever we run into a combat...
You best believe, next level, I'm changing out one of my second level spells for Change Self.
I would go for Alter Self, personally. So that you can disguise it.
I had it listed as Change Self, but it's actually Alter Self.
But regardless, the ability to just... Oh, God, there's guards on the gate. What do we do? Klaus just... roll in the fog.
Where are my pyrotechnics?
All right. Laddies. So, first and foremost, I wanted to say thank you for everyone that's decided to come out tonight and support the return of Shackled City. This is episode 134, and I think I'm going to start handling things in a very different format for the game. So, as a lot of you guys know, that this is going to be an adventure path of sorts. It was written as a module for the players to experience the political intrigue and the downfall and despair of this faction, this fortress of sorts that is Cauldron, this monstrous place, which is amazing.
We've been doing wonderful with the politics and intrigue.
It's just that. All jokes aside, I've had a lot of fun running this game for a long time, but I think I'm going to start handling it in a very different way. When we start actually launching into the content of each chapter, the game is going to take a bit more of a serious turn. I'm going to find ways to make it less mechanically crunchy, more narrative-driven, as much as I possibly can. But this downtime, the times like this that is sort of between chapters, I'm going to sort of open it to the floor to let the players to do anything they would like to do. Things they might want to try, or things they may be interested in pursuing themselves. I don't really see a point in having a game like this locked for just hard, intensive roleplay all the time. You really need to allow the players an opportunity to flex their wings of sorts, let the wind hit them. And in this case, if they have pursuits or things that they want to try, at least for the growth of their character, it's good for them. It's very, very good for them. So in this case, right now, this is that in-between time. But when the actual chapter begins to launch, the hard hits are going to come, and they're going to come fast. And you're going to see a very different kind of game. This is to kind of inform both you as the viewer and the players as well, that when the game actually goes into the sincere content, shit's gonna hit the fan. As you guys know, you're not exactly in the beginning of the book at this point. We've been going for 134 sessions, and this is gonna launch Chapter 8, I believe. Yeah. No, Chapter 7. Excuse me, Chapter 7. This is a 12-chapter book. So, we're over halfway finished.
Yay!
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna start picking up pace quick. Real bad things are gonna happen. And
No!
yeah, it's gonna be weird. Either way, thank you guys so much for coming in tonight and for all the follows and all the love and all the support. It's been great to have you guys on this ride thus far. 3 years in, finally halfway done.
No, I jumped in 3 years in. 3 years ago.
No more monster halflings? I mean, we'll see monster halflings in that sort. Like, it's not going to go away. That's a headcanon of sort, but this is like filler, if you want to treat it that way. If you're looking at it canonically for episode sorts, this is like a quote-unquote filler episode. But it still allows them an opportunity to begin developing themselves a bit further, especially since we don't have the new overlay. We're not sure what Sunn's new character is called. It's actually not Big Dick McGee.
No, I changed it entirely on the thing.
Good.
Yeah, I heard that in the tone. It better not be a fucking Big Dick McGee.
See, Big Dick McGee is the good name. There's the other name that my boss wanted me to use, but it's not stream appropriate.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah, let's not. So, to keep everybody informed of what's going on here, this is, like I said, episode 134. I'm going to guess that there's probably about another 70 or 85 sessions in that ballpark. We're at 447 subscribers, 504 of 600 sub points, meaning at 600 we get a brand new emote. We are less than 100 followers away from breaking 10,000 follows. Yeah, and we just turned over 323,000 channel views, which is kind of sick. This journey seems to become ever interesting. So let's make the most of it. Now, the buck still remains in Klaus and Jakob's ball court. Do you guys leave? Do you stay and continue this charade? What do you do?
What do we do, Klaus?
I'm gonna wait out the transformation and turn back into my normal self. Then I'm gonna gather my things, get the fuck out of here.
Okay. How long do you retain your mirror images?
That's a good question. I want
It
to
will
say
last.
2 minutes per level.
It will last longer than your current image.
Yeah, it's 1 minute per level.
But I
So,
think he can
12
actually
minutes.
dismiss it whenever he wants, right?
Yes, I believe you
Yeah.
should be able to. Most spells you can dismiss at your behest.
So I'm gonna go ahead and dismiss my mirror images and my changed self and just be Klaus again.
All right. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, at that point, Jacob's just going to kind of like be leaning on outside the window ledge. So are you ready to go?
If you'd allow me a moment to set everything back the way it was. I mean, those brutes flipped the bed over, for God's sakes.
I'm fairly certain that we should leave Hot Vest in a hurry. Something tells me they're going to be calling paladins in after today.
Well, you may be right there for once.
Klaus, he says this with a drop of blood lingering over his ear.
What happened to you? You weren't even in the room.
Bah! Fucking rat.
A rat on the roof of the tip tanker.
Well, yeah. Rats do get around in cities. It's not like this place doesn't have a kitchen, right?
On the roof.
Yes, on the roof. It's not unheard of. You
And
should see it in the city.
It bit your ear.
Well, no, it was on my leg. And of course, when I turned over and spooked it, it ran up, caught a bite, and ran off.
Noted.
Look, if you're really that concerned, we'll have somebody, we can have a medic check it out. Sunn can look at it later. But for right now, can we please hurry up and go? You can still fly, right?
Yes, fine. We'll go.
Good. Ulhime's at some church of Perth or whatever.
St. Cuthbert?
No, not St. Cuthbert's. Another one. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But she did give me directions.
Well, I'll follow you. I don't believe I've ever visited any other holy establishment in this town.
Okay. I'll leave you two on your way, and I'm going to move over to Ulhime. Ulhime, my dear friend.
Yo.
My one-armed man's. My dude. You were seen unconscious on the table of St. Cuthbert's.
Mm-hmm.
Or were you unconscious at Asvilkir's?
No, he told me to wait there. I couldn't leave. I asked if Thelsa could go get help, remember? So I'm sitting there waiting for them to get back.
Right. You are at, in this case, you have moved over to...
The Temple of Cort.
Yeah, you're at the Temple of Cort. Hey, Blue Pike, thank you so much for subbing all of these folks.
Oh
That's super kind of you. Holy shit.
Man, if ever there was a time we needed the reroll, it would have been before.
Yeah, you guys just got your luck reroll. Every time that happens, that's going to give you guys a luck reroll.
Yay!
Oh, god damn it. That was a believable yay. Yay!
I'm the dead boss side.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, if ever there was a time I wanted to go ahead and fail a perception check, it would have been earlier tonight.
Wow. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much, Blue Pike. That's super kind of you for the 5 subs, my friend. Very nice. Okay. You decided to wait there. You asked for Jakob to get you some help. Yes?
Thelsa
So Thelsa
was the one who left the Temple of Cort to go find Klaus.
Yes, but in this case, Thelsa was unable to do that. So Thelsa probably would have gone back to reach out to Jakob.
Okay.
Remember, Thelsa, while she lives in the city, she's widely unfamiliar with most of your guys' normal practices.
Normal?
Yeah. As much as she understands that you hover around the area of the Tip Tankard, Jakob's probably more useful. Oh, thank you.
Bless you.
Thank God.
I'm
that.
useful?
A bit more useful in this scenario, I believe. So Thelsa probably would have stopped there. Let's talk for a moment, Ulhime.
Mm-hmm.
You are waiting here at the Temple of Cort. The High Priest, Asvilkir Franlert, seems to not really regard you with disdain, but he seems to not immediately trust you. You note that his eyes never really stray too far away from you. No matter what he's doing, his focus never wanes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Give me a will save, please.
$26.
Ulhime, you begin to hear this voice internally that seems to put a little pressure on your person. As you wait inside of the Temple of Cort, watching this man, this strong-jawed, broad-chested individual, this almost perfectly angelical man, as he stands there, his vision never strays too far away from you. You hear the voice again. He doesn't trust you, boy. He's waiting for you to make one false move, so that he will have reason to strike you down. Do you think these are the kind of people you like leading your cities? That you'd like leading your friends? The common folk of this town?
Hearing that, Ulhime will shoot up and, not wanting to move his growing left appendage, will put his hand to his head. Get out of my mind, demon. I won't let you control me.
Asfalkir, with some haste, moves over to you, and you see that he kind of widens his gait for a moment. Is there something I can help you with, Sunn? I think you might need some help. I believe you should sit down. He's testing you.
I'll extend my left appendage. Can I do a diplomacy check for what I'm about to say?
Yeah, go for it.
Seeing as it's essentially growing still, and knowing that the fragments are in that part of my body, I'll put up my appendage. I need you to sever the rest of my arm. Sever it and purge it, please. I beg of you. There's an evil inside me that's growing, and I need it to get away.
I don't think that's necessary. I don't believe we should be worried about that right now. We should wait for your friend to return. You think you can purge me? I am you now. You and I are intertwined. Stuck. Boy, I'm your best friend. I'm your father and your son. We learn so much from each other.
My diplomacy check was a 26. I didn't know if that mattered or not.
It would, under normal circumstances, if you were speaking with a commoner. But this man is not one to be shaken, and he sees that you're ill, that you're sick. On top of that, you're requesting him to do something that would be widely unthinkable. You asked him to cut off your arm, or at least the rest of it.
I guess to try to stave the growing.
How would you do that?
I'll burn a spell and cast Cure Light Wounds on my arm to channel positive energy into the parts that are growing to, like, I guess, repel it back in a sense.
Okay. All right. That's fair. So you know that the way that Cure Light Wounds works is that it can return your hit points back to you, but it doesn't quite edit, like it doesn't change much of the matter itself, right?
No, but I mean, I remember that when I channeled the same energy before, it hurt him.
It does.
So if I can focus it on the parts that I see growing out, which I'm assuming is him, I can at least fight him to some extent.
Yeah. Sure, certainly. When you begin to channel this, are you channeling this from your right hand?
Yeah, that's the only one I have.
Okay. As you begin to channel this from your right hand into this, you see this holy aura that you begin to emit from your palm. But as you're focusing this over your arm itself, it begins to pale over, and it seems to gray. It turns into a spectrum of no alignment. You see that you're just emitting like an aura before it begins to fall over the wound, and it begins to blacken. You see that
I'll throw it away.
Your aura, this aura that you have, you want to immediately dismiss it?
Yeah, like the moment I see it turning black like that, I'll throw my hand away.
Sure.
To not.
As you had done that, though, you realized that your wound was beginning to staunch open, like it was not quite stemming the blood flow, but it was actually like it was trying to pull back, like pulling back the skin over your arm, and it started to cause the bone to quickly return, like it was beginning to grow at a much more rapid rate. As you pull your hand away and you dismiss the spell, it seems to cease immediately. Pus and ichor begins to flow from that brief moment. When you look down, you see two small, very thin worms fall from your open wound to the floor.
I'll step on them.
When you stamp them out, the priest begins to look over at you. You see Asvalkir. I believe that you need more than what I can offer you. You need to find an apothecary, someone, a surgeon, something that can be done about that. I'm afraid that I cannot offer you much.
I'm asking you as one man of faith to another to help me. Why do you refuse?
Because I don't believe that you're sane of mind. Brother, you're sweating. You're profusely dripping this melodious intent. Look at yourself. He draws forth what looks to be like a small hand mirror from inside of it's almost inside of his robes.
Yeah.
Like he pays this vanity to himself. This very evangelical character. And he shows you from a small hand mirror. And you can see you've lost a lot of color. You're sweating buckets. Your eyes are reddened. You have like dried blood around your nostrils. It's...
Yeah, but I mean,
rough.
Given where we came from, I'm not surprised that I'm not in
worse shape.
Pristine condition.
Yeah.
Seeing that, like, I'll stand up and I'll start walking. With the crutch, I'll just start walking away.
Okay.
Cauldron really is doomed. If men of faith will turn their backs on those who would need it.
You need more than the Temple of Lordly Might.
The Temple of Lordly Might needs more than you at this point. May Helm protect this city and all in it. Ulhime just starts walking out.
Okay. As you step outside, you're immediately found charging into a figure. This individual. Sunn, describe your new character, please.
So he is a rather young man, standing at about 5'11". He is wearing it's not plate mail. It's pretty casual soldier armor. He has short dark brown hair, brown eyes, and he has a giant sword.
An enormous sword. All right, sounds like guts.
No, not as big as I want it to be. Sadly.
I think Frankie's like, you're fucking weeb.
And apparently his pet familiar behind him is just not impressed.
Yeah, you find yourself walking in the direction of the local temple, one of the local temples. You know that ways to earn income in this place is to see if there's any work to be done. Temples are great places to begin looking for that. People need lordly healing. On top of that, sometimes they just need protection, so they pray for it.
Stay a while and listen.
That being said, what's your name?
The name is Cort Burstock.
Cort Burstock. All right, Cort. There's some irony in the fact that you're going to the Temple of Cord. But you find that you're making your way to the Temple of Cord when the doors burst open and you are struck with the physical manifestation of Ulhime, this full Orcan man that's missing his left arm from the elbow down.
You said he bumped into me?
Yeah, yes.
Into
You guys will bump into each other, yeah.
Cort, trying to be proper, would probably back off a bit, and before even dusting himself off, he goes, "Oh, sir, are you and he's gonna notice your arm. Sir, are you okay? Do we need to get you to a medic somewhere? You look like you've been injured.
I need to find the divine boy, not an apothecary or medic here in this town.
What
Excuse me.
I'm assuming you're just gonna push past.
I mean, I'm not gonna shove you if that's what you mean.
No,
but,
not like
I mean,
get out of my way, but I'm trying to move.
Would there, other than St. Cuthbert's and Temple of Cort, is there another temple?
There's a couple of temples actually.
In Cauldron?
There is there's St. Cuthbert's. There is the Temple of Cort. There is the the Shrine of Pelor. And then there is the another temple that actually goes widely unnamed.
I'll head to that one. I'm assuming it's for more general prayer and stuff, or is there a specific thing to it?
It is just renowned as a place of prayer.
Okay, I'll head there then.
The reason that it is not oftentimes spoke of is because you note that they will have a sign that dictates that it's closed for renovation.
I'll make my way there anyway.
Okay.
Kind of trying to keep my bearing and keep myself from falling over.
Sure.
I'll turn back over to this man, this young man that I see before me.
Okay. Cort, you see him look back to you briefly.
Might have some trouble moving through this town. Would you mind accompanying me to another place of worship?
Sure. If I can help any way, then sure. And he'll briskly step over to you and come over to your side.
Thank you. I'm Ulhime, by the way. Ulhime shield bearer.
Oh, I'm Cort. Cort Burstock. He's gonna kind of nod his head a little bit.
Ulhime will give him a bow as well.
Okay.
As I continue walking to this renovated place of worship, he'll keep his eyes forward just to make sure no one's trying to approach him from the front or anything like that. And he'll ask Cort, "You're a rather young man to be walking around in such gear.
Oh well, it's.
What profession are you?"
He's gonna pause for a second. I'm an adventurer, I guess.
Good lad, good lad. Well, why were you headed to the temple?
Is there anything I should know? Because you said we can't go to a medic. Why not?
It's a long story, boy, and one I doubt you would believe. It seems that faith has left this town, or at least those who practice it anyway.
Now,
well,
Cort,
you haven't.
Cort, you know, since you've arrived in town, you've heard a lot of things about Cauldron. Cauldron itself was supposed to be this thriving hub of peoples. It is widely known as that, but these days it seems sort of like a ghost town. You're not seeing hundreds of people meandering the streets. You're seeing tens, at best.
It's kind of weird. I just came here from roaming around, and it seems like this place is kind of empty, if you know what I mean. I heard that this place was bustling, and I came here to find work, but at this point I might have to leave.
I too came with the same ambitions, boy. I once started out my work here through my adventures guild back home, but since I've made my way here, I've discovered great evils that lurk in the shadows, And he kind of like motions to the alleyways and stuff like that. Not in a sense that something will be there, but I guess symbolically showing that the darkness itself is more than what it seems. But he takes his focus back towards the road. Since my time here, I have tried to do good. Or at least I believe the things that I have done have been good. But lately it seems that the small things don't matter anymore. The dead walk the streets, and even plague has found its way into the town. And those that should stand against it, stand alongside it instead for power and personal gain. The town's in danger. It's becoming corrupt. There's not many left who are willing to purge the evil. So it grows and festers.
Cort's just gonna kind of look at you. You know that look when you tell a child something? Not like you tell a teenager something like, there'll be repercussions for this, and they're like, I don't care. And like it just kind of goes past them. It's gonna be kind of that, like he's gonna look at you and then he's just gonna go, well, my master always used to tell me, it's gonna suck before it gets better. Maybe this is when it sucks. Just kind of with a blissful ignorance almost.
Boy, I understand.
Stay
Which
a while and
sentiments?
listen.
Is everybody losing?
No, okay, so I'm not crazy.
I don't know, am I sounding wiggy right now?
You
straight
straight
up
up a robot.
You sound okay
I'm
right
okay
this
right
moment.
now?
Yeah,
Okay.
sound all right.
Yeah, because I heard it from Austin's end first. I thought it was just him. But yeah, let me get back into it. In all honesty, boy, what's happening here will bring about a darkness that light cannot pierce through. We need people willing to fight on the side of righteousness. And I fear that those lights in the darkness are dwindling fast. And we need help.
Well, I like helping.
Good. We can use all the help we can get. And then as I was walking, take a right up here. Be out of the way of other people. And then they continue walking down the alley, and he starts looking behind him just to make sure that they're not being followed or anything like that.
Cort's gonna kind of be... Whereas most people who you would assume are prowling the night of Cauldron would be a little bit more on edge, he's kind of just looking around, not looking around for people, but just like, oh wow, it's really fucking dark out here, man.
Okay, so Ulhime, a couple of things. This is also for Cort. You lean into the alleys, trying to find your way to the unnamed temple. You get the sensation as if you're kind of running around a maze, like a rat's
Stay a
maze,
while
more
and
than
listen.
anything. You move ever forward in the way of your destination, but you can't help but feel like you're just kind of stuck. Like Cauldron, while it may be this teeming hub, it seems like there's just something here, like something's leaking. A plight, something of disgust. Nothing benevolent anymore. But you move ever forward, and it's not long before you find your way to this unnamed temple. Give me a perception, please, Ulhime.
15.
Okay, very good. Ulhime, you make your way to about 10, 15 feet away from this place, and you can still see that this unnamed temple, largely paved around, it's very cleaned up on the outside, but it's closed internally for renovations. The sign is fairly dilapidated. The door seems to have regular use. It's mostly weathered. You see to your left, just down the street, Jakob and Klaus.
Seeing them, I'll just kind of give a half-hearted smile. It's about time. And then I'll do like a special whistle that me and Jakob know. I just go, and it's like a weird echo that kind of shoots toward him.
Jakob, you hear an all too familiar whistle, one that Ulhime has called out to you since he's basically known you at this point.
Yeah, well, given the fact that they've been traveling for as long as they have, he's going to kind of put a hand out and catch Klaus by the arm, process the last couple seconds back in his head, and he's going to go this way. And just follow after the echo of the sound.
Moving up to the door, since I'm assuming he's kind of caught onto the whistle, I'm going to pull on it. Does it open?
The door actually does not. It seems to kind of give just a bit before it's stuck. It seems to be locked.
All right. Looking down at my hand, my right hand. Please, still be with me. And I'll use Might of the Gods and you pull upon the door.
Ulhime, when you attempt to cast Might of the Gods, your spell does not work. Your light emits as a darkness. When you touch the handle, instead of giving yourself godly-like might, instead, the brass fixture of the door handle itself begins to decay and disintegrate from the door.
Once again, it's one of those things where it's like a dirty feeling to kind of see that happen. So he kind of puts his hand away, and already knowing that it's the worm that walks, it's essentially fucking with his power.
Yeah.
He'll just ball up his fist and just use that orc strength and just pop the lock to see if it'll budge any further, and then he'll just open the door.
The door handle will decay, and when you slam down across accordingly, it will jar open. Cool. Jakob, Klaus, as you move closer, ever forward, you'll see them. You'll see this almost aperture of darkness emitted from Ulhime.
Hell, just seeing the destruction itself is going to be enough to raise some red flags on Jacob's side. Ulhime, that's a little unlike you.
But it's not me at all. It's the worm that walks. He dwells within.
Klaus, as you catch up, you can't help but notice and feel this sensation of singed hair, of
He's having a stroke.
Decayed flesh. And then it hits you. That itch grows infinitely. The burning begins to singe over the length of your body. And when you peer down, in each of the ridges between, the text glows a dark cinder.
That's on Klaus?
Yeah, this is on Klaus.
Ulhime will motion for them to come inside before he blocks he's gonna block the door with them, hoping there's like old pews or something like that in the church, just so he can kind of lean them against the door and stuff to start barricading.
Cort's gonna raise his finger. Should we be going in there?
Klaus.
Yeah, he's gonna push you inside.
Ulhime, you'll see this. Mm-hmm. Everyone's going to see this. In fact, Klaus, as you begin to move ever forward, it starts to grow in intensity. Enough so that it starts to sap away your vitality. It's an actual burning. This is not like, oh, I touched hot metal. No, it's, oh, I'm holding a hot coal.
I guess my first instinct would be to try to, like, kind of, like, scrape it off as best I can with my fingers. Just try to get rid of the sensation.
Sure. Cort, Jakob, Ulhime, Klaus stands probably 20 feet away from you, about a good 35 feet away from the building, and you can visibly see trails and tracers of smoke rising from his body.
Oh, that's no good.
He begins to scrape and scratch at his own flesh.
Yeah, I'm gonna detect magic like hell on that shit.
Okay, it doesn't really take much. Jakob, you've seen the entire time since he's returned up to this point, looking like Klaus, you can see these images, these markings, these glyphs, runes appear over his body. They have these long, feathery wisps.
And the runes themselves, what language are they in?
What languages do you know?
Oh, that's a bit of a long list, but okay. I know Abyssal, Infernal, Draconic, Elven, Dwarven, and Orc.
It is not in a language that you are familiar with. Ulhime, what languages do you know?
Dwarf, Common, Undercommon, and then for my Cleric, Celestial.
Ulhime, you can read. You can read this.
What is it saying?
It's in Celestial.
That's a lost meme.
Oh, great. The one language I don't know.
What is it saying? Like, is it like telling the story of something, or is it...
They're in some sort of pattern, the way that it's written, but each of them are dictated and written as the 14 rites of Alakast.
Oof.
So kind of understanding, kind of taking that note. He's gonna motion for Jakob and Cort to go inside. I think I know what's going on.
Yeah, well, all the same, let's
My
all
friend.
go inside.
My friend, just hear me out. I can't explain it, but he might be able to help me in what's going on right now. Just go inside and wait.
Cort's
Please.
gonna kind of look around the like when you have when you bring the good kid to go jump over the fence to skip class. They're like the Morty, like, oh jeez man,
Yeah.
I don't know man.
You mean the one with the moral compass?
Basically, like he's gonna look around and be like, guys, and then I'm assuming he's gonna
He's
Shuffle in
gonna motion for him to go outside.
Jacob's
Please,
gonna
just-
turn around, see this new young kid, and just be like, holy crap, you're tall. Come on, let's go inside.
This is my
Or
shortest
not yet,
character.
just
Yeah,
go in there and
he's
close
5'11". He's
close
not
the
that
door.
tall.
Even though I know what's going on with Klaus, but he'll call to Klaus, further this way, around the back. And he'll head around towards the back end of the church.
Klaus, as you get closer to the church itself, it seems that all around it, within about 30 feet, it burns, it hurts, it's not fun. There's nothing about this that is enjoyable. You resist it as much as you can.
I'm gonna try to stay to the outer edges of the alleyway that he's leading me down.
Okay.
Furthest away from the church.
Okay, just a moment before I get to you two. Jakob, Cort, the moment that you turn to go inside of the church, because Ulhime's instructed it, for which reason you believe that you have to do, or at least you're going in to wait to get outside of the street. A figure is at the door. A man. Probably in his late 20s, early 30s. He has short, well-trained hair. Poignantly thin jaw. Not much in the way of upper, like, eye bones. And his eyes seem to be compressed very thinly. He smiles.
Nice coif.
His hands are put together in a way of welcoming and introduction. I see that you've made your way to the temple, but you seem to have destroyed my door.
It was broken when I got here. I'm just kind of along for the ride. Sorry. My name's Jakob, and he's going to offer a hand.
My name is Ike. And unfortunately for the time, forgive me, but the temple is closed for renovations.
Closed? Oh, I'm terribly sorry to hear that, but Ike, and at this point, Jacob's going to turn and just, while keeping a hold of his hand, just point off at Klaus and Ulhime. As you can see, we're in a bit of a pickle. We've just returned from Occipitus, and I'm afraid that Occipitus may have followed with. Are you aware of that place?
No, forgive me, I am unawares. But
Celestia?
now, I'm familiar with Celestia. Are you familiar with the grander policies and the etiquette of taking care of another man's property?
Like I said, I had nothing at all to do with the door. I don't know what happened. I just quite literally stepped up here.
If this was not you, then who was it? I would like to see compensation for the destroyed door.
I absolutely no idea. And at this point, he's going to turn around. Ulhime, friend, you know anything about this door?
A minute, Jacob. Yes, it was me.
Oh, so
Apparently-
your friend, then? Your friend destroyed the fixture, the handle?
Apparently, such would be the case. And we will, of course, be more than happy to recompensate, or offer some kind of recompense here in a moment. But for right now, we have more pressing matters. May we come inside?
No, I'm sorry, you may not.
Ulhime! Apparently, we're not welcome.
Do you not see the sign? We are internally renovating. This is currently, while a place of prayer, we are not allowing anyone inside. I'm sorry.
I guess what's going on outside, or what's going on inside, because he's yelling out. I'll look to Klaus. Those markings are of Alakast, or a story of him. Why are they hurting you?
You think I know? I don't have a clue. It just, the closer I get to the church, the more it burns.
Would there be any more detailed description as to what those markings were? I know you said it's about Alakast, but is it more of just the tale that we heard from before?
It's not. It's actually
Sounds
not.
like a rules tablet.
This is essentially what it is. It's a series of rituals. It's the last
One.
rites of Alakast, and it clears like from as you begin looking over it, you see like ritual 3, ritual 7.
Step 1, don't point itself. Step 2, sacrifice goat blood.
Okay, so
You're not really sure what this does exactly, but rituals are obviously meant to be performed. To what degree? You're
the
not
ones
sure.
that are burning, which ones are those?
All
Which
of them.
ritual is that?
All of them.
All of them are. Okay. So I know he's in discomfort, but looking about the rituals, is there any ones for exorcism?
For exorcism, I mean, you'd have to strip him down, and it's going to look really weird to see a one-armed full orc stripping a human man, a geriatric human man in the alley.
What about starting off the ones on his hands? I'm not gonna
Give me a second. I was forcefully disrobing.
Seeing the ones.
Okay, just glancing over them quickly, you see one is called Tasting the Blood, and it speaks of freeing the rights of an evil outsider. Bleed them thin, slain on our plane. You see another one that is listed as Blessings of the Holy Ones, where it describes the length of a ritual that takes 6 hours. And various checks, various things that you have to do. Some of these are, like, they say some very, like, arbitrary statements. Some of them are even vague, but they seem to have...
like deep meaning.
Deep meaning. Like, there's even one called Baiting of the Prey, where it requires the summoning and the usurping of the Devil of the Beard.
Okay. All right. Seeing that happen, I mean, would I be able to do a religion check to see if his reaction is to something evil?
His reaction is pain. Klaus is burning.
And it's when he got close to the church, or when he got close to
you're in the alley of the church, and it's not you, it's the church.
Okay. Kind of getting that kind of taking a hint at that if it's anything to do with Alakaz, which is what I already assume is good aligned, then we are not in a good place to begin with. So as I'll look to Klaus. Let's move back over this way, away from the church. Away from the church. I'll grab the others. This isn't good.
Ulhime, as you turn to exit the alley, and you find your allies Jakob and Sunn. Excuse me, Jakob and Sunn. You notice.
You mean Cort?
Jakob and Cort. You notice briefly across the way, someone peers from an opposite alley. They appear to be watching both Jakob and Sunn. They glance from their palm and back to Jakob and Cort.
Oh, that bastard again.
From their palm and then back to Jakob and Cort. Ulhime, give me a perception.
Uh, 9.
You cannot make out any of their features immediately. The only thing that you can see is that draped over the breastplate, where it seems that they have a hood, it's like a cowl that's disguising their face, a breastplate, and then its long, like, gown underneath. Their hand...
Hard.
Yes, their hand is nestled around the hilt of a longsword that seems to slowly be removing it from its hilt. And over the chest, over the breastplate itself, is the emblem of a gauntlet with a red thorn piercing through the palm, and a sunrise, the dawn, over the top of the clenched gauntlet.
Can I do a religion check for that?
You can try. You are unfamiliar with which religion this may apply to, but you notice immediately that the gauntlet looks incredibly close. Incredibly close to Helm's.
But the eye isn't in the center of it, right? It's just
not
a
an eye.
gauntlet.
It's a red thorn.
So, would I know if this is a good or evil or neutral-based deity?
You're not sure based on your knowledge of religion because you're not sure which religion it follows.
Alright, being...
Ulhime, as you begin to exit the alley, the figure removes from whatever it was holding in its palm, draws the longsword, and skulks low as it moves over to take a strike on your ally.
The moment I see that happen, weathered and fucked up or whatever I am, I'm gonna go and just charge right at that guy because I'm not gonna let him fucking slice and dice all willy nilly.
Ulhime,
So,
as you charge from the alley, not quietly, as a full orc, one-armed, you sprint to try to stop this man from doing anything to your allies. You're noticed immediately, and as it happens, you see him remove a gauntlet from his pocket, from which it was clenched around under his robes, and as he flinches his hand down tightly, he disappears before you. Jakob, give me a perception.
$17.
You hear the sound of Ulhime charging from the alley directly away from you. Jakob, what is your flat foot?
My flat foot is 14.
Wow. Okay. All right. All right. Take 12 points of damage, Jakob, as you feel something pierce from your side and strike all of the important internal parts. This figure emerges before you like a vision that was just outside of your foray, and you can clearly see this image over the top of his chest is Helm's gauntlet. And instead of being a red thorn that pierced the gauntlet, it's a red tail that seems to splinter the gauntlet through the center as the sunrise rises over the top of the gauntlet, this dawn. It doesn't exactly take you very long to realize what's happening. And I say this. The figure strikes you and continues to try to push this home.
Oof.
You hear a snap as he pulls away, and the blade snaps on your body.
He just broke the blade off in my body.
As he steps away from you,
Stay a while and listen.
he says, "Bleed, Dawnbringer. This is your fault. It's dutifully earned." And that's where I call the session.
Oh, God. I'm just picturing poor Jacob. He's just like, grabs onto the guy's tabard, gets a better, closer look at it. Then he hears Dawnbringer, and he's like, oh, fuck. Oh, yet again. More chicanery and bullshittery.
I love those things though. Those are my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
Can you be mad at me for it? Like, really though?
Honestly, no. I don't get mad over anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, also on top of that, like 12 points of damage at your level isn't insane.
Oh yeah, I mean, overall I've gotten 13 points of damage. I have dodged some really bad status effects. I'm quite happy with how tonight's session has gone, especially with all the roleplay with Klaus.
Good. You guys have needed, like, that's part of the reason that I'm doing this, is that you guys needed the opportunity to roleplay as a squad. We also needed to introduce Sunn's character. Thank you. And we needed to give you an opportunity to kind of bring some things together. What's this? I'll check this out in just a moment. So, how do you guys feel about tonight's session?
I had a fucking giggle, mate.
I laughed a lot.
I think tonight's session was very, very good. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of what happens. I'm rather interested in seeing Red's new character and how this personality plays out. After all, he's just met the team and just witnessed somebody apparate right in front of somebody he's known for all of maybe 20 seconds and then stabbed him. That's going to probably not put us in the best light.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
and
like,
there's a new legend. There's a new legend in Cauldron. Abaduki.
It's kind of like when you get sent to prison and like you're doing that first walk-in for the day and you see an inmate get shanked. It's basically what it feels like.
No,
I've
that's
never,
exactly what just happened.
I've never lived that before, so I'm only
Wait.
all I've got is Orange is the New Black going on through my head. That's it. I'm sorry. Maybe a little Shawshank. I'm not sure.
But yeah, considering, yes, you did just witness somebody get shanked.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did it.
Strip. I just saw someone just get fucking stabbed, so rather less of thinking, wow, what did these guys do to get stabbed? It's, wow, these guys get stabbed. I should probably stand away from them.
Right.
Wow, I don't know if I want to go ahead and be with a bunch of guys that get all stabby with each other.
I don't know if I want to get stabbed.
I don't. I do not. So I'm just gonna have to trust it for what it is.
It's not fun.
Well, hopefully with the reintroduction of any, I'm. Is he poisoned? We're not sure yet. Venabust. We'll find out for certain.
Yeah, the next session is going to be an exciting step back into the world of Cauldron.
Yeah, it'll be good. I think it'll be a fun change of pace. I think things are going to kind of heat up pretty quickly. Thank you guys tonight for everything, for coming out and helping us return. We'll be back next week for certain. I'm super stoked for that. So make sure you guys come on out and you experience it for what it is. We're going to try to do this every week if we can. Hopefully everybody is here. I don't know what happened with Inny. I'm guessing he's still without power, which would suck a lot if that's the case. So we're going to go ahead and fire some love off over to a friend. He comes in a couple of times a week. I call him Sheepy. He is Daddy Sheepdog. Set your reminders. Come back and share in the love. And we're going to go ahead and raid on over to Daddy Sheepdo. That's him right there. We will see you cats tomorrow for Carrying Crown. Yeah, we'll do that. Sounds good. I'm very excited about that. So see you guys then. Thank you for absolutely everything. I love your faces. Do what you do. Stay safe. Stay nerdy. And we'll catch you guys then, lads. Then.